Hey, I'm Chris Stefanick from The Chris Stefanick Show. Check out this clip about how to live a more joyful life in your everyday life every day. So this is a question that came in from Marty. What process did you find most helpful in healing, in ongoing healing?
EMDR.
Yeah, spell that out.
Okay.
'Cause you're excited about EMDR for good reason, and we
Yeah.
don't often get a chance to talk about that. It's really cool.
Right. EMDR is a process by which, well, the process is interesting and kind of funky, and I was certainly a cynic. In my case, it was listening to tones like through an old school Walkman headphone, and it was like a metronome, boop, boop, boop. And while I was listening to the tones, you have these little paddles in your hand connected to that little device that are buzzing with the tone, back and forth, alternating. And you could set the tempo, the volume, you wanted to push yourself to have it as loud and as strong as you could without it being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know the science behind this, but
this is not a snake oil salesman stuff. This is accepted.
no, yeah, this is 100%.
And pretty mainstream among counselors, and I don't think they know why it works. Just that
Yeah,
it
that's
does.
what my therapist said. She said we don't exactly know why, but what it does is trauma is stored in a different part of your brain. But of course, every day we operate out of the frontal lobe. But when you've heard trigger, that word, when we're triggered, what's happening is that trauma is being accessed and you're overreacting to something, but you can't process it because it's not here yet. So I could tell myself till I was blue in the face that you are not my abuser. But I wasn't able to access the memory to process the truth, to speak into that memory.
It's profound.
EMDR lets those two parts of your brain communicate somehow through that weird.
And you would go through remembering in profound detail.
Oh yeah.
I
almost don't want to scare people away.
While these things were unlocked in you, and I know there would be times after EMDR you just wanted to puke.
Oh yeah.
Yep. But through that process of remembering again and again, you'd bring it to the forefront until it no longer was traumatic.
What happens is the end result is that like I said, you're able to speak into that memory, speak truth into it, and it desensitizes the memory, so it doesn't have as much power anymore. So you're not reacting to it at all.
The D is desensitization.
Yes,
in the EMDR.
yes. Eye movement, maybe repetition. I'm not really sure.
Yeah. So that when things come up, when they come up, when you remember them, when you recall them, maybe unwillingly, it just comes. You're no longer.
Oh yeah,
my
body had memory. I mean, and there's a great book, the Body Keeps the Score.
Yeah.
For trauma victims, but yeah, your body has memory. Everything about you is like, I mean.
And there's a few levels too. There's the level of healing from trauma. There's also the level of renouncing of lies. That's the
second piece.
Yeah. Share about that.
So talk therapy for many years. Then after I was months with a therapist, then you do EMDR. That's a major thing that I want to point out. You don't just jump into EMDR with a new therapist because you're not feeling safe yet. You will not go as deep. And you need to go with one that's been certified from the EMDR Institute. I got to say that because I've met so many people who are like, well, I've tried, it doesn't work.
Right.
Did you do that? Every time they have not done it.
Okay. Smash the subscribe button. Crush, smash, demolish the subscribe button if you want a more joyful life.